Super People is going through it right now. If you've still been keeping up with the game, you know that since the release of Warzone 2, the player count has been depleting. Of course, it is very hard to compete with these AAA games, as indie games typically have about a 30% chance of even being considered a success. Now, although I think the developers have done a good job at giving us a good product, they haven't been exactly perfect everywhere. In this video, I'll be going over what they did wrong and what they should have done, as well as what they should try to do now to show us that this game still has hope. Which I believe it can come back. I don't think they are done yet.
I think we ain't doing yet.
But players are definitely starting to get worried. Now let's start going over the main issues with Super People. Now, one of the main factors that players might have started playing and just not stayed is because the game is very complicated and inconsistent. If you've been playing the game, you know there's a lot of different levels to armor as well as the weapons, and on top of that, there's different perks for each character which might boost a weapon, might not boost a weapon. Sometimes this weapon will do better than another, or you'll take less damage with this perk, or less damage with that perk, or less damage when leaning right, so it's just really complicated. Outside of that, I don't think the gameplay has been too bad. Servers used to be an issue. I don't have too many issues with the server now, at least not more than I would in other games. But yeah, if you don't like having so many variables depending on how much damage you do and how much damage you can take, you probably haven't really enjoyed the game. Now, this is something they are trying to fix, which I'll go over how they're going to do that with the huge overhaul update later in the video. So another reason the game's player count depleted was because they released it around the same time as Warzone 2. What they should have done was never really shut it down. I understand they needed to make a lot of changes with the game, but they really should have just kept it going. A few months back, there was really no new games coming out. Super People was pretty much the newest thing out besides like Blood Hunt, and that game had just died. The closed beta had released at the perfect timing. Everybody was playing it, we were having a good time. Of course, it still needed a lot of changes, but they once again closed it, released it a month later, around the time Warzone 2 came out, and they lost a lot of their player base. Keeping it open earlier would have allowed for players to only have this game to play and allowing them to stick with it more long term. They also probably would have got to this overhaul update a little bit earlier, and they wouldn't have lost so many players because there wasn't too many other games to play at the time. That way players could have kept playing the game, looking forward to all the big updates, but now we're kind of just having one big update later. It does suck though, because we will never have people be happy with what they choose to do. I'm perfectly happy with what they're doing now, which is having big updates while the game is out. I think that's what they should have done off start, but you have so many people complaining saying, oh, I'm not going to play this game because Warzone's already finished. Why would I play this unfinished game? It's like, that's why they closed it, because it wasn't ready. And then when they actually do close it, oh, well, I can't even play the game, so I'm going to go to Warzone 2. Like, what do you want from them? So yeah, either way, people are going to be complaining, but I'm happy right now with what they're doing. I just think the timing's off since all these new games are coming out. It's going to be harder to gain a player base. Now let's go over how they can actually start building that player base back. So the overhaul update is definitely step number one. The game will be significantly more simplified. There will now only be 3 armor tiers and I believe 3 weapon tiers, and still you got the legendaries and all those. Crafting will be removed, which was a huge part that took a lot of time to start the game. There will be more players in each lobby to allow for more engagements. There's just a lot they're working on to make the game a lot more fast paced, and really just a lot easier to start playing and not have to watch all these YouTube videos on how to do every single little thing. Which, if you want to know where to find those YouTube videos, go ahead and subscribe here. I already have a variety of Super People videos up, and I'll continue to make more. Be sure to subscribe for those. Now, of course, even with this update, everybody's kind of already gone, and why would they even choose to come back if they're having fun playing another game? I definitely don't think this game is going to be finding great success in the short term. It's going to be a long-term process. Once everybody starts getting tired of Warzone again, they'll want to be looking for a game. I'm pretty sure people will start going back to Super People. If it is better, they'll probably enjoy it, stay there. A lot of people who play PUBG might still be on the fence between the two. I think that Super People could definitely acquire those players. There are definitely people who like using the abilities, but don't like worrying about all the crafting and all that stuff and how complicated it is to know the perk system and all this. So I think with the simplification, those people will find this game more enjoyable. And I think the ceiling for this game isn't going to be crazy high like Warzone or Apex Legends. It's probably going to be around what PUBG is at. I think that's like the best scenario for Super People. I'm going to still be sticking with this game, and I'll have a more detailed video for the overall update coming soon. If it's already out, you will see that here. But yeah, go ahead and watch that. Till next time, love you, see ya.
I think we ain't doing yet.